morning, everyone. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Gaurav, Arya, and the team from Chanakya Dialogues for organizing this conference. To be honest, I came prepared for a dialogue, not a monologue. So, what I will do is I'll keep my initial views to 10 to 15 minutes, and then if the audience has any questions, we can interact. So the topic given to me was DRDO future ready. I think the audience here is full of veterans, so most of you are aware of what DRDO has done so far. So I will not get into what we have achieved so far, what have been our successes and some failures also. But my focus will be on how we are going ahead. As General Chauhan mentioned, it's our vision, or our Prime Minister has set all of us a goal that we should become a developed country by 2047. For that, we have to become Atmanirbhar, and to become Atmanirbhar in defense, it is very critical that we become Atmanirbhar in defense R&D. It's well and good to produce defense equipment in the country, but if you don't have control over the design, if you don't have control on the technologies which get into the system, you are not going to become Atmanirbhar. So as a first step, getting defense manufacturing in the country is a very good idea. But unless we achieve Atmanirbharta in defense R&D, our goal of becoming truly Atmanirbhar will not be met. So let me just give you some facts. Currently, we spend about 5.5% of our defense budget on defense R&D. If you look at USA, China, Russia, they all spend between 10 to 15% of their defense budget on defense R&D. So the first step which we need to address is whether we are spending enough on defense R&D. Historically, defense R&D was restricted to the government sector, so it was mainly being done in DRDO. But I think 2 years back, the government has announced that defense R&D is now open to the private sector. So this is the right time that we have to look at how we can create an environment where the whole of nation approach is used to promote defense R&D. So in DRDO, we are taking steps. We have started with baby steps, but I'm sure as we go ahead, over the next few years, we want to create this ecosystem where there is seamless interaction between DRDO, industry, and academia to create this environment and take the country not only to Atmanirbharta, but to also leadership in defense R&D. So let me highlight some of the things that we have already started. Now, in all our projects, we involve industry right from the design and development stage. So we call this as DCPPs. The industries are called our development cum production partners. They work with us right from the beginning of the project. This not only helps us in getting or in developing systems which not only meet the functional needs, but the aspects of manufacturability, the aspects of maintainability also get addressed at the design stage itself. We hope that with this, the time it took from the development of a prototype to the time in which that equipment got produced will get reduced significantly, and our services will get a much better product at a much faster pace than what they have been getting. So this is one initiative that we have taken to be future ready. General Chauhan also mentioned that there are several schemes which MOD has started for promoting innovation directly in industry. So in DRDO, the two of the things which he mentioned, Technology Development Fund and Dare to Dream. These are the two schemes that we are running in DRDO. Technology Development Fund, I would like to correct what General Chauhan said, is being used for two different things. One is to indigenize component subsystems in the systems which the services already have in their inventory. Especially, you are all aware, with the Russia-Ukraine war, getting spares for Russian equipment have become a challenge. So this scheme, if any industry wants to indigenize some of those subsystems components, the TDF is willing to fund those. It is also used for developing innovative cutting-edge technologies. We have recently increased the funding which is available under this scheme from 10 crores to 50 crores. And I'm happy to say that it is beginning to produce very good results. We are finding that some of the MSME startups are very creative, and if properly mentored, given proper hand-holding, I think they can bring a dramatic change in our industrial ecosystem. We have also started or enhanced. We were always interacting with academia, but now we have enhanced it significantly. We have opened 15 centers of excellence in most of the prominent academic institutions in the country, such as the IITs, IISc. We have identified domains for each of these centers of excellence. And unlike the earlier academic interactions where the projects were being proposed by the academic institutions and which were then getting sanctioned after evaluation, what we are planning to achieve in these centers of excellence is have a clear roadmap in each of these technology domains where we want to reach after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and plan programs which will help us in achieving those goals. Another innovation that we have done in these centers of excellence is we are calling it DRDO Industry Academia Centers of Excellence. So we are involving industries in these projects so that the translation of the R&D which happens from low TRL levels, and as we transition to high TRL levels, the industry can then take it forward and get it produced. So this is another way we are trying to become future ready. Another interesting concept that we are trying now is we have opened 5 young scientists laboratories within DRDO. So these are laboratories where all the scientists, including the directors, are below the age of 35. And these have been opened in areas which have the potential for causing significant disruption in the way warfare will be fought. So these are like artificial intelligence, quantum technologies, cognitive technologies, smart materials. So we have already opened these 5 young scientist laboratories about 3 years back. And we want these young scientists laboratories to act as hubs for innovation within an ecosystem which is more traditional. DRDO labs being part of a government setup, we have limitations in terms of the GFRs have to be followed. We have to follow the government rules for recruitment. We don't have the flexibility which is needed in an R&D organization. So we are expecting these young scientist labs, we are trying to give them special powers so they can act as innovative hubs which can lead to our ultimate goal of becoming a technology leader. Some other initiatives that we are taking is skill development. As our industry, defense industry grows, there will be significant need of trained manpower. So we have opened up our laboratories. We are taking a lot of students for doing their training. We are providing our facilities for students to do their master's and PhD work. We have also opened up our facilities for any industry to use in a very transparent fashion. We have a scheme, we have a collaboration with Ministry of Education, where 500 PhD students can choose a topic in defense and get their PhD work done with a guide from DRDO also in their PhD thesis. So we hope that we will create a much larger manpower pool available to do defense R&D in the country. I have full confidence that with these changes and with the potential available with our youth today, we will succeed. However, I have one bit of worry. In our country, we are very risk averse. Especially any government funding, whether it is to DRDO, and now in case we are going to fund industry, is looked at very suspiciously. When you do cutting edge R&D, you are going to fail sometimes. Everything is not going to succeed. Everyone talks of the DARPA model, but if you look at DARPA model, hardly 20% of the projects they fund succeed. But those 20 have significant, the output from those are such that one can ignore the failures of the 80%. I think in our country also, we have to become less suspicious of failures, more accepting. Actually, if you ask me, you learn more from your failures than your successes. And they become stepping stones for your next success. But this mindset has to change if we really have to succeed in our goal. So as an organization, DRDO is changing. We are trying to become more professional. We are trying to integrate the industry and academia in whatever we do. We are also trying to promote independent R&D in academia as well as industry. And we hope that this will bear results. So with this small intervention, I'm open to questions. Thank you.
Hello. Sir, my name is Anil Khaitan. Just wanted to ask you a question that
Sure.
I think in the last 2 years, Government of India has liberalized the FDI policy in defense. 74% through the
Yes.
automatic route, 100% with the government permission in high technology areas. So has that scheme been successful? Are we getting foreign investments into R&D?
Really, not much investments have happened in R&D. Some manufacturing has come in, but really not much investments have come in for R&D through the FDI route. Yeah, please.
Sir, I am M.K. Gupta, co-chair in the Defense Committee of PhD. I just want to ask you one question. Some people had observed a little delay in acceptance of the proposal given in the TDF. So what is the current, any limit given, within which time frame it will be accepted?
Yeah, we are
or
trying
rejected?
to reduce it to 3 months, that any proposal which comes to TDF will get a decision. So if it's rejected, you will know within 3 months. If it is accepted also, you will come to know
Thank you.
within 3 months.
Thank you.
Yes.
Namaste, sir. I am a grade 10 school student, and my questions to you are A, how do we efficiently utilize youth to contribute to the Defense Research and Development Organization? Second, does DRDO plan to develop human resources as scientists or researchers, which I think will be the most important contribution for development? And lastly, as school students, how do we help? How do we get involved for our career or for the better development of the country?
So let me answer your second question first. As I said in my intervention, we are promoting students to come work in DRDO labs during their BTech, during their masters, during their PhD. We are also opening up our laboratories during Technology Day, Science Day, where school students can come and see the kind of work that is happening in DRDO laboratories, so that you can gain inspiration and decide to take up a career in defense R&D. In terms of what was your third question?
So as school students, how do we get involved?
So I think school is too early a period to get involved in actually doing things, but this is the time you should learn about what can be done and generate an interest in yourself, so that when you go to college, is where you can really start contributing to defense R&D. And for your first question, so we have a scheme called Dare to Dream. In this scheme, we throw up challenges where any individual or a startup can provide a solution to that challenge. So these are really open-ended challenges, and your creativity, your thinking ability can be reflected properly. And if you win the award, then you are also given an opportunity through the TDF fund to actually convert your idea into a solution or a product.
Excuse me, sir. So, yes, sir. So, Bipindra, yes. So, to your right, sir.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, please.
so People's President APJ Abdul Kalam, in one of his lectures, had flagged that India should become a pioneer in some future defense technology at some point in time.
Yes.
And he had flagged hypersonic technology as one of the possibilities at that point in time.
Yes.
So I would like to understand from you, sir, what are the big new emerging future technologies that the global R&D institutions, defense R&D institutions are working on? And is there any one particular emerging technology, new technology, future technology that you think DRDO could become a pioneer at some point in time?
So hypersonic technology continues to remain a critical technology for the future. So in DRDO also we are working on hypersonic glide as well as hypersonic cruise vehicles. I will not call them weapon systems as yet because they are still at a stage where they are not ready for being converted into a weapon system. So these are still technologies. There are a lot of disruptive technologies which are going to change warfare, as I mentioned. Quantum technologies, quantum sensing, quantum communication, quantum computing. These are going to play a disruptive role in the way we fight warfare. Space, both space situational awareness, space-based surveillance, and space eventually will get weaponized. Those are going to be very critical, and everyone is at a fairly close level, so we have a good potential to become leaders. Quantum technology is also fairly new, so we have a potential to become a leader. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, though not a new thing, how they are going to be incorporated in your defense systems. You can get substantial advantages if you can master some of these things and incorporate it in your systems. Directed energy weapons, both lasers, high power microwaves, they are going to be a major potential source for us also to achieve leadership and for us to get advantages which can be significant, especially if you can put them in space. Another area where not much is talked about, but it is already being used extensively, is cyber warfare. It's a continuous process. It's a warfare which is going on day in, day out. It doesn't depend on a war being fought actually. So cyber defense, cyber deterrence is going to play a key role. Underwater awareness, because submarines are going to play an increasing role. So underwater submarine detection, underwater deterrence for submarines to come in are all going to be increasingly important. There are several other technologies, but these are some I could think of at the top of my head.
Good afternoon, sir.